Hello and welcome to today's Factorio stream. It's Saturday and it's my first Factorio stream for 2 weeks. I was away on holiday. I was away at an event, EGX, last weekend. Might talk about that. I talked about it yesterday on Satisfactory, but no one joined me yesterday, so I'll probably repeat that. A plan for today is basically I've been working on. So I've been quite busy. I'll load the map up. I've been quite busy working on the game. The green screen appears to not be quite doing what it's meant to, but whatever. I'll leave that. Sorting that one out's more difficult. Yes, so I've been quite busy and doing this essentially. So I have hooked up the white science builds. So in fact, let's do the drawery thing. So let's see if we can do that. So these, let's zoom in. These here. So each of these white science builds are all hooked up now. And I've also hooked up, so the satellite and the plastic, they're all hooked up. In the sense of once they've got raw materials coming in, they will then work. So I've also done these ones over here. So they're all, you can see the belts at the top here. We've got all the belts running around. You know, I say there's nothing on the belts because they've not got any raw materials, but the belts are all there. I've also, let's see if I can just show that. Let's turn the logistics network on. So this network here, so these guys here, this stuff here, all of this here, that's the refueling basically. So there's a refueling train hooked up. Where is it? There we go. Refuel drop off. So it's here. So it's been running back and forth, filling everything up with fuel. And what it's been refueling is trains. So every single station has a train on it, basically. So we will need more. It will not support. It'll need more input than a single train. But it's not. It's not as bad as the other ones. So it's not as bad as these. Where we need multiple trains at every one, because obviously this is like 1/6. So these aren't going to be launching continuously. It's like quite a slow process to launch a rocket, even with beacons and all that sort of stuff. So we are going to need some more, but not quite as many as you might sort of think. So what we will need quite a lot of is coal trains coming in here. This is going to be quite hungry. This is like way overkill. I could use one station of each, really. So that's very slow in terms of eating up. In fact, I may well start this and they never, we could run it for an hour and they may well never go and pick up more material, because it's literally 6 satellites that you need, every minute sort of thing. And it's like, it's not even that's 5 satellites, which is nothing in terms of materials, really. It's just that what everything uses in satellites is very slow to make, solar panels and all that. They're really slow, so you need more machines to produce them quite slowly. It's a bit weird. But yeah, so basically they're all hooked up. I've also hooked up the train system. So we have, these are now going outside the base, in quotes. They're actually inside the base, but they're what would have been outside the base. Because the other thing I've been working on is this system to expand the walls. And what I've decided to do, let's turn that back on again and see if I can zoom in there. See if you can see that. So basically, this is like a logistics network, basically. So this here, it'd be better in red, wouldn't it? It'd show it better. And maybe if I use can't you do a square? There we go. So this here is a logistics network as a separate unit, basically. So there's another one then, if I get rid of that. So then this is a logistics network as well. You can just about see the green lines, but it might be too small. So it's about there, I think. So that's like a logistics network. So effectively, these are all divided up into chunks, you see. And then the other one, so we've got one here as well. So that's a logistics network on its own, basically. And it's got a very small number of construction bots and logistics bots in it. And basically all it's doing is ferrying stuff back and forth. Because what I've been working on, while all of this was, because a lot of this I just set, I just put it down as blueprints and had the spiders run round and restock and all that sort of stuff. So what I've been working on is this. So I've tweaked. These are the wall drop-offs, basically. So I've tweaked these to add on extra things that are being used in the artillery expansion system, right? So originally it was just the shells, and I had to add in that because I'd forgotten it, basically. So that's why it's not in this block. Also, there wouldn't have been a room, but basically then I've added on, large power poles, radars, artillery, the 3 types of chests, the inserters, and the logistics ports. And obviously, we've already got, walls and lasers and bots and all that sort of stuff over here. And what this does, I've had to tweak this. So this has been tweaked with more stuff to bridge across between those networks I was talking about. And basically the trains will, I've also added on, there's a new thing here that basically says if any of these go below 5, I think I've set it to, then send a train, basically. So that's particularly useful for this one when 5 of these have gone, because it only stacks to 10. When 5 of those are gone, it'll send a new train, and that'll actually load everything up. But it means if we run out of bots, then it'll send a train. If we run out of lasers, it'll send a train. So that's just a sort of generic thing to cover that. The main things are still, though, the artillery, because once a lot of it's built, it's just sort of slowly firing out shells, and that creeps down and has to then get a train. But basically, this drops off materials, and then the bridge passes it into this next network. I've got a few chests here that I was just using to, build everything initially. And this is like a return system. So basically, it'll pull stone and wood and coal back up again, back up to the station, basically. And then this is like what's left over. So basically, once I've stamped down, I was working on this on the previous stream. So once this has been, stamped down over and over, I mean, this is obviously, the wall connection one. So it's actually this one. But basically, you can see all that's left is the radar, the rover port, a couple of power poles. And basically, I've got then a whole set of blueprints that I can use to stamp everything down and do it all remotely. Now, I used the spiders initially, obviously, to provide the initial material, and so I knew what I was doing. But this now is pretty much automated. It does mean it's automated in the sense that I can do it remotely. It's not automated in the sense that it'll just self-build or anything like that. But basically, yeah. So this was the one I did initially, testing the waters, working it all out. This is the second set where I was, trying to make sure it was properly automated. And then this is the one I've been building, just as a part of that process. We really want to get down to here, so we do want another row. But what I think I'm going to do mostly this stream is actually start bringing in some of these resources. As you can see, what I've done with the trains is connected them all to a sort of a main line here, because I kind of realised that although it gives me access to loads of new patches, and I say what we're going to do is rework the train stops, because we don't need what we had before. We can do a lot simpler system, but it's the same basic idea. I'm also probably going to switch to bot mining, I think. We're at that stage where mining productivity is so high that belts are sort of redundant. So we can, have a bit of fun with that as well. I'm not going to convert anything. We'll leave what we've got. But certainly, gold science is not really is also another issue. So basically my idea is we'll go down one more row. I don't know if I'll actually do the system on here because it takes a while to actually do. Particularly since, in fact, what we could do is have the, because as you can see here, it's effectively I'm turning it into a set of grids. But obviously there's land there already. So I need to draw the land across there. In fact, I might have already put the, no, I haven't. But basically, each one, I basically plop one of these down and it slowly fires off, a bunch of new, bunch of shells. It's literally, I probably need to tweak it and have more shells being delivered, but it then effectively, it sort of, this is just me manually doing this, but it finds the patches. Turn that on like this, and then it trickles out a couple of shots. But I then just come and spam on a load of other artillery, and the rest of them clear it out properly because it's too slow for me. Really, I want to get on with it. But this is a good way to identify the patches and just. Once I've done the actual bases, it then just clears out the worms slowly over time. But yeah, we want to get down to we want another row basically, and that'll then give us access to everything down here. Because I sort of realised that all of the material is a bit unevenly distributed. So we got most of the coal sort of over here and down here, and I want lots of coal in the middle. So I was either going to have to keep crossing the trains over, or we need to come up with a system where basically what I'm thinking is I take these sort of down here, maybe closer there because there are no resources over here, but we take this maybe straight down here and this straight down here, and then I do sort of fingering branches in. So, we then have a line that comes up here and I connect up everything I need to or want to. And then these guys can just automatically work out what's going on because I renamed these so that it's 1, 2, 3. So the trains can be individual for each one, and they can just find, well, where's the nearest patch? So we're not going to connect any resources to this line. I'm going to bring lines down and around, so there's a bit more room, basically. They'll also give me the option, if I need it, to like unidirection these, so we can make these so that I could put a junction so that these have to go right, and they would then go down there. For example, that's a bad. I'd actually do it left, so half go one way and half go the other, but then leave the coal able to go both ways because there's so much coal going to need to come into the base. Yeah, so what we could do, I say, rather than actually it is a bit fiddly and a bit sort of messy. Actually put them down. But what I can do, I can stick the landfill in, and say that'll take quite a while for the bots to fill it all out anyway. It's been, generally speaking, what I've done with it is just left it running. So I say put a new row in. Is that too far? No. Put a new row in, and then just go and do something else basically. Whoops. And let them find the bases, and then I then come back, spam a load of shells out to the proper bases, and then it just clears up like what's left. Where are the Here we go. So you're up there, are you? Okay. So if we go down there, then we can walk across there. Probably need to go back as well. And then that's probably the next bit. So let's do that. And then maybe back and forth there. And then across there. Back and forth. And then we'll just take it up to there. Don't think it's needed, but it may not. Yeah, no, there'll be enough to fill all that in. It's more if there's gaps, basically. And that's where it gets a little tricky because the bots run out of charge and all that sort of stuff. So I'm over here basically, and the idea, what I'm thinking is we will rework the coal because the coal is kind of the simplest version of this. I'm actually going to hop out, leave the spiders over here somewhere, because I don't want them building it yet. As such. So we can turn my bots off. It shouldn't take too much tweaking. The big thing is going to be the bot-based mining. I may not. Oh, in fact, I've not got any miners, have I? Let's put some more legs on so that I'm a bit more speedy. So we'll grab some miners. I think they're in Pinky. Yeah. So we'll grab some of them. And might as well grab some, I guess, storage chests as well. And then make sure we've got some lots of requesters. Loggy bots. I don't know how... This is going to be the question of how many I actually put in each thing. I think we'll leave everything else. I say, so we need to come up with a relatively simple, bot-based mining. So what I usually do, or what I've done before when I do these, is you can actually... Because obviously you can just do that, basically. But I tend to find it's a bit sort of more sensible if you do one of these. And then we'll have the... Yeah, let's use storage like that, you see. Is that how I normally lay it out? That doesn't seem right somehow. I might just do it, the super boring way. Yeah, let's just do it the super boring way. Basically, instead of... And what we can do to increase the density a bit is just have miners, have power poles inside now, because obviously, we don't need to work around with belts or anything like that. And what we can do is basically make this, oops, a tileable thing. So what's that? If we make it fairly big, I think. What would that be? That would be... How many have we got on there? So that's 48. So that's nearly 50. So that's nearly a stack, which is quite useful. We can tweak the power poles, probably, I think. We might not need to, actually. That's probably... Because you can put them that far apart. So what does that look like? So if that was 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, like that. So it goes from 3 power poles to 4 power poles to 3 power poles. Yeah, I think we'll do that basically. So if I take that out like that. So this is the power poles. Yeah, okay. So if we blueprint that, because if that's do I want it that? Because say that's 48. There's 24 chests. Let's have a look at the actual station. How many does it have? So this is... I also fiddled about with some train things, but that's the unload, isn't it? That's not what we want. We want to be up here. Because say, if we're not... I mean, I'll probably do like a half smelting thing, but we don't need to load the material in with belts anymore, you see, if we're going to have chests deliver, that the bots are going to deliver to. But we've got to work in roboports for them to do it. And I say that's the other thing I've forgotten there, isn't it? I need somewhere to put roboports, or... Yeah, that'll work though, won't it? I can just put the roboports on manually, I guess. Work out the best positions. Because it's usually best with these, when you do bot mining, to... let's see if I can... To not be too worried about the edges and stuff, because you sort of switch to it, at a point where, you know, you've kind of got huge numbers of. So there you go. So that might work. We could probably have, you know, oops. You know, we could probably put the things in there, you see. Roboport's just in this here. Yeah, that'll work. I say, you know, it's best not to be too fussed about all of the edges and stuff and these like bits like this with this, because, you know, the whole point of this is we've got so much mining productivity that, you know, the fact that we're losing a little bit there is sort of irrelevant, and you need to be able to cover it with the roboports. That's your main priority, rather than being fussed about getting everything out the patch, basically. Yeah, so that's not too bad, is it? Like that. And we can put these nice and on the edge. Oh, nice and on the edge there. They'll need some power themselves. So I probably won't. I don't think I'll include that in the blueprint. Yeah, I think that works as a blueprint. Did I actually blueprint it? I don't think I did I? No. So we can give that a little loggybot. A loggybot. And chuck that in, not in our book, in there. So just chuck it down the bottom somewhere. Okay, so if that's what that looks like, I say we need what I was going to check, you see, not old book, that book, is this how many in terms of the, you know, station, you know, what does it look like basically? Where am I in the orientation? So something like that. You see, because if I don't need all this middle stuff, you know, so all that stuff in the middle there, which is dropping off, you know, like outpost material basically. So it's dropping off artillery stuff and artillery chaining up. It's shells and well, it's not shells. It's ammo and all that. I don't need any of that, so we can massively compress this. And what I'm also thinking is that we don't bother refueling. So we avoid refueling. You know, so I don't have to bring, because there's no point. It's so short, really. And, you know, each train has got, you know, three, well, each traction unit in each train has three, you know, nuclear fuel and one it's burning. So there is so much spare fuel capacity in the system. I don't think I need to refuel these at this end as well. I'm happy if they just, you know, work okay. So, you know, I don't need any of those refueling bits. What I do need, though, because that's a generic one, and then this is the loader, you see, and we don't need any of the belts, but we need to swap out the belts for requester chests. And then we probably have to fiddle with the maths, basically. Do we have to fiddle with the maths? No, we probably don't, do we? Because I can just have them fill the chests up to capacity. Yeah, I don't think I need to... Because you can do it that they fill up to a certain amount, and then your maths works with that for the train fuel, you know, the train counter, basically. So, say, we need to sort of shrinkify this, basically. Would it be best if I fill it all out? What are you doing? Oh. I've got to watch out for that as well, because I am close to those Roboport networks, aren't I? So if we just, you know, plonk this down here, hopefully out of the way. And then I might as well get rid of those trains. Trees. No, that's the wrong thing. No. Where have you gone? There you are. So we get rid of all of that, so none of that's in the way. As well, I'm going to turn my bots on and swap that out. I should probably chuck some stuff in a chest so it's out of the way. Biddly bob. So if I chuck what? Pipes I don't really need because I'm going to get rid of all of that. I don't think I'm going to speed beacon them either. We'll have to see how that works, but I don't think I'm going to do that. If I get rid of what? I don't really need pumps and furnaces for this one, do I? Or them. We can do that. Should also probably, it's probably too many bots for it to cope with. In fact, let's just bring the spiders over. I've got them all here, basically, I think. Did I bring them all over? I can't remember. So let's just fill it all out. I'd say we don't actually need most of it, but I can then just, I've got the material there if and when I need it. I think we'll get rid of some of the extra belts as well, because I'm obviously not going to do anything with belts if it's all... Well, we will for the smelting, I think, but so we can sort of come back to that. How are we doing? What are we missing and what we got? In fact, let's get them to fill out this as well. I'm not even sure this will actually be here. But yeah, a Roboport, seriously. Okay. Right, yes, so we don't need any of this, as I say. Because this is the whole, defences for the outposts, and it's not an outpost anymore. So none of that's needed at all. Don't need that junction, or any of that. One of the questions I'm pondering over is whether I do, Ro-Ro, switch it back to Ro-Ro, basically. I'm very tempted to. Because it's how I like to do trains, It shouldn't come through, but my neighbour's hammering again. If I did, would I want to get fancy with it and try and do something different, as it were? Because I do quite like this is going to be a bit more compact, but oh no. It's kind of remarkable, actually. I don't quite know how they manage to find stuff to hammer all the time. It's a bit sort of how much stuff needs building, Very sort of strange. Is that the tightest loop we can do? Is that connected? I think that's connected, isn't it? Yeah. So that's okay. Probably wouldn't take a signal though. Although this has gone a bit weird. Let's have a look. Get rid of that. No. Well, that wouldn't matter because there's that signal. If I was to convert it to go in, go out, that type of system, what would that end up looking like? I mean, let's have a look at that in the old book. I've got the old. I think. Here we go. So you see, I'm doing a different orientation, so there's that to consider. But that's the stacker there, isn't it, basically? So the difficult part, I mean, it wouldn't be that difficult. I mean, we could do something funky where... Part of the problem with, I find, with the Factorio rail is that you've only got this one curve, basically. So, you know, this is the minimum curve you can do. So I can't sneak this inside. In order to do an internal lane there, you have to move everything up, basically. Am I fussed about that, is the question. Let's just pick all of that up. Grab that. And then finish these off. Because what I could do, you see... I shouldn't really be doing this with real entities. I should really do it with ghosts, but whatever. Okay, so that's that wood gone. So what I could do, you see, is if this becomes, you know, a in and out type system, what I could do is obviously this goes, so that's not there anymore, and then this could move down. I'm trying to balance simple change with, you know, restoring my preferred way of doing it. So we could have this here, you see. And then basically we could do it'd be a bit of a weird system, I've got to say. In fact, we need to move it up as well. Don't mean to do that. So we'd have to move this up by 2 lots probably. And then you see this could curve back here. So this is the exit. We're going to end up with quite a complicated junction, you see. That's what I'm sort of a bit worried about. And then this is where they come in, essentially. No. See what I mean? You can't do certain curves. So what would that... So it would be like that, wouldn't it? It's because it's 2 stops, basically. That's what makes it a bit more complicated. I mean, it's funky looking, but it's going to be horribly inefficient. I'm sort of losing... So the in and out system of doing the rail is quicker. Just due to quirks in how it works, but in terms of getting trains in and out. But if I have this complicated junction, it loses that, basically. And I can't, I mean, I could, it looks, you know, you could think, well, you know, I could move these closer together and make this a smaller junction, but we need to be able to have roboports down the middle for the bots to charge. So it's not actually going to be any sort of, you know, thinner. No, I think I'll stick with the current design. So let's undo quite a lot of stuff. How are we doing? So is that the correct one, or is that... So I need to undo another one. Probably need to do another undo. In fact, I could probably just... I think it's in here somewhere. There you go. Stick that back on. Right, so I say we need roboports. So we can get rid of this because we're not doing refueling. Oops. What the heck did I do there? Oh, I was doing cut and paste as if it was the, you know, one of these. Right, so let's plop a train on. So I did actually make a blueprint, I think, of a train, just so I could fiddle about with stuff. Okay. So you would be there. And, oh, no, you would be there. Right, so what we would need, you see, is some requesters, some requeeblers. Why are those two not aligned? Because I got that train wrong, haven't I? No. How have I managed to do that? Idiot. Oh. Why do we have one piece of track there? Right, let's try that one again. The key with this is to line them up with the guides, and I obviously didn't do that. Because you can, I mean, you can load, with this, you can load, you know, both sides, obviously. Like you can with any system, you know, any of those things. But is that really beneficial to us? Because we got what we got. If I so it was double loading, or but loading both sides on this one, wasn't I? Okay. Okay. Let's do the same then. It's gonna be a heck of a lot of chests then. Right, so we then need... Do I want to stick with this power? I think so, because that gives me... How many robots can I get in there? Oh, they're going to need to move up one. In fact, I may be able to squidge together anyway, because that's two... That's two tiles, isn't it? Which is one piece of rail. So I could actually move these slightly closer. Am I going to cause myself any problems with that? What problems might I cause? Because there are now no belts going anywhere. It's just requesters. No, I think that should be okay. I don't think I've caused myself any... Whoops. Any problems there. I've clicked off the... There we go. Off the thing. So if we do... If we cut that... And move it down... There. Then I should be able to... Sort of move the middle bit back up again. Doop. Boop. So I can put this here. Is that perfectly... It should be perfectly full. There you go. Oh, that needs to move up though. Because I don't think I need the top. In fact, I don't need that either, do I? Because that's covering the things. Do I need that one? Probably not. Do I need any of those? The question really is whether I want, on that front, is whether I want how many roboports I want, really. Because, oops. It basically, you know, when it's bot-based loading, it's very high power demand for the roboports. So you're sort of trading power you know, for guess it's got rid of the train. So let's put that back in so I don't get confused again. So this wants to be here, 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 and there. Like that. Guess I've run out of stuff. You see, because this is one of the things you have to consider, is that I thought I had my phone ring in there. That you have to consider is that so I've now got 192 requester chests, and I've only got 60 provided. 6 storage chests basically. So 60, 120, 100. So it's almost like a 1 to 3. So we're going to be requesting up a lot more material than we've got chests for. Now the bots can take things out simultaneously, but whether or not I need speeds on these as well is, I say, going to be something. Well, it's essentially due to I put those far apart. It doesn't actually cover. So that was wrong, wasn't it? Because it doesn't actually provide power. Does it? Well, obviously I'm missing one there. But they're all. Let's just hook this up and let's see. Stop speculating. And just get on with it. So if I just do that. Oops. And that. Put that there. Yeah, so we missed one there. We swapsy that out. Everything else is running. Yeah, they're going to need speeds on as well, aren't they? Yeah, you see. Yeah, okay. So, let's kill that. I'm going to end up with a ton of coal, aren't I, in the inventory? That's annoying. So, this blueprint was wrong in the sense that it needs speeds in it. So we can quickly do that. Yeah, I know. Oops. Billy Bob, indeed. Oops. Yeah. Oh. Click the wrong thing. Pop that in there. Pop it in there. Stick all that in there. Yes. Dear me. I hate clearing chests with bots. Hey, the bots can't hold very much charge as well. Oh well. What was the biddly bob there? It's sort of weird that the game... I suppose the point in a way was that... Let's just get rid of that stuff. I guess they didn't ever anticipate it being, you know, people building it quite this scale. And the bots are sort of fine for, you know... Oh, don't need that. Well, that is there. Don't need all that landfill. How much of each of those? What? Oh, I don't want to blow them up because they're storage chests. But we could stick that in there. Oh. Ah, dear. So I'm sort of more concerned about the chest than the coal. The coal's sort of irrelevant. I don't want to blow up the chests, is all. But this makes for a thrilling stream. Hey. Oh, let's just stick that in there. Because it's nearly done. There we go. Right, so I need to pop this down. Where did I put it? It was about there-ish, I think, wasn't it? And then I need... In fact, let's turn you off. Something like that. Stick this stuff in here. Get rid of it. No. Right. So now I'll plop those in manually. And I can't remember whether it lets me... I don't think it does it? If I do that, and then copy and paste that, it's not gonna... No, it ignores the modules. Right, so give it another go. There we go. So we want to edit that blueprint, whack that there. Now it's got speeds. Save the blueprint. Wow, that was painful. Or I made that painful. Okay, so let's turn you all back on. Realise you're going to trap me. There we go. Right, let's have another go. So, where would that be? About there-ish? I don't know. Somewhere there. No, one more down. Something like that. I should snap this, shouldn't I, really? If I put... Where's the... There it is. There we go. And then we can pull those edges up. Oh, it's... I was going to say, I couldn't see speed things in them, but there wouldn't be because I got rid of those. I don't have enough of those, rather. I got rid of them. Right, so, yes. Okay, so this is theoretically a patch. Now, how many's it got on it this time? Yeah, so about 60-ish. Okay. So they should, with speeds, they should fill up roughly enough to keep, sort of good enough speed to keep these guys busy, or to keep these guys fueled with stuff. Now, what we can do is basically put roboports down here. And up top as well. Yeah, up top as well. Like that. They're all powered then by this, you see. Because this can go past the edges that we've got. Excellent. What I do need to do, which is why I need to fill these out, because one of the things we're going to have, I need to hook them up to the, the math system. So I keep hearing a weird bleeping that feels like it's my phone, but... So, nobody is carrying enough, so there are nowhere near enough roboports, are there, in these? That's a bit annoying. What about you lot? Have you got... Because I know these got... A lot have got roboports. Somewhere. Someone has. So there's 30 in there, you see. And the 20 in there. Cool. So what we want to do is bring these guys down. Might as well bring them all down. And they'll fill out all of these. So I think they've got loads of requesters and stuff as well. Because I basically need to hook these up to count the contents. So if I do that, copy and paste that over, should just attach all the wires, like so. I can't get past. Looks like it does it on the Ghost as well. I didn't know it did that. Okay. Now, is that going to reach? Because what I need to do is basically hook these up. I should be able to just... Because you're not really doing anything, are you? You two. Can I plop that there? And power everything. Yes, yes I can. That's good. And then what we can do, so I can't, no, I can't put a thing on there. So I do need more passive. Oh, in fact, actually, what I could do, I believe, is head over here. Where is it? Oh, it's a fair way up. Okay, so if I just leap in my spider, because this system has passive providers in it, so I can just grab some of them. We're going to end up... That's a point. Here we go. Here we go. Some here. I mean, I don't need a lot. I just need to have the ones where the wires, are needed, as it were, and plop them in. Yeah, so it's these ones I need to kind of be here. That's cool. Now, what we should be able to do is take that over there. Oh, hang on. Don't these need to be separate, don't they? Yeah, I don't want to count. So I want to hook these up independently. So really, is that not? Oh no, of course. Yeah, so really I want to hook this across to here. And then into that one. And then say that one across to there. And then into that one. Cool. Oh, there it is. Sorry for that, and I couldn't see it. Does it hold 32,000? Don't think it does it? It's 50. So what's this? This is. So if this is coal, that'd be 100, 200, 300, 400. Sorry, 100, 200, 300, 400, 500. So 2,000 in each wagon. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Yeah, so it's 16,000. Not 32 for a coal. 16,000 for a coal. And then if it's 3, it's sort of fine, basically. It doesn't matter. Yeah, there's 1 extra spare sort of thing. Why have you got... Why have you got an extra bit of rail? Okay. 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 That should be a chain signal, I think. Right, so this is a coal station. Because what I'm thinking, I won't do what I was doing before where it was all fancy and stuff. Because we only need coal, iron and copper. Well, we need 1 oil, but we can use the old one for that. And I'll just edit it. Because I'm going to need like 1 oil station. But it's really coal, iron and copper. So I'll just have a blueprint that is the coal station. Which is this. Just trying to think if I've forgotten anything. So what I will need to do is make sure this is hooked up to this. But I'm thinking I sort that out, as needed sort of thing. And obviously these need to have bots in the system. But, I can move this down so that these touch... No. Yeah, I can touch them. I don't need an extra Roboport here or something, but I might do in other cases. It depends. Depends what it ends up looking like. Are we all right with the power poles? Yeah, that's all fine, isn't it? Signals is fine. Yeah, happy with that. So this is now the coal station. So this is station coal. I say my aim today really is to get the coal up and running because this whole plastic thing here is where is it? There it is. Is really going to chew through the coal. So I really want to get this rolling and kind of see how many trains and how many things I actually need, because that dictates sort of how big I want to go here. Oh, I forgot all about this. There you go. You see, they forgot to, or missed out a couple of bits, so I'll have to send them back round again. Where are they? Oh, there they are. So what did we miss? So we missed a bit here. Missed a bit there. And any more? So because they run out of charge very quickly. Oh, that's all fine. So if you give them too many orders, they just end up not doing them all. Oh, it looks like it was just those little bits. Cool. Okay, so let's send them back then. Up to here. Just to restock over there. Once they've done those. Should I start filling this out? Yeah, so the number of coal stations, I think, is kind of going to be the limiting factor in terms of how far I need to keep going, because there are only, I think there's 4 coal patches in this first bit. Is it 4? 1, 2, 3. There's another one. Yeah, that's the one we're at. So there's only like 4 coal patches there, which is not going to be enough to probably stop them, because that's only 8 trains. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stations there, and 6 stations there. So I need 12. Just in the assumption that 1 to 1, which is going to need more than that. So I need more than 12 stations really, or 12 pickup points. Which is why I then said, oh right, well I have to add an extra one there, and that does give me quite a few extra things. So it gives me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, that one's a bit rubbish, that one. So 8, say. So that's then much more like, 1-to-1 ratio of, trains to stops and that sort of thing. But if this is so massively hungry that it needs 4 trains rushing in and out for every single station, I don't think it'd be that bad. We'll actually have to go a bit further, and I'll have to grab these as well, you see. Because I think with iron and copper, the ones that I've got will probably be okay, because I say it's not actually going to be as hungry as it might appear. And these are quite big patches, and I say now that we're switching to bot mining, it should be a bit more efficient in terms of filling them up. Right, so yes, happy with that, but it's probably in the wrong position. So where do we actually... What we'll do now, I think, is stick it... In fact, did I... So what we could do... Because what I'm thinking is I'll bring the train down here, the train line down here somewhere, and down here. So this one's okay. I don't need to do any landfill. Maybe on that corner? No, that's fine. So we just take it down, parallel with these. But over here, to give myself a bit of room with that patch, I'm going to need to, come down here or something. So if we get these guys, where are they? To come and do a bit of landfilling for us over here. And then we can send them back. Right. So, I mean, we're going to have to landfill this as well a bit, so we can get to these patches here. Because weirdly, there isn't, there's just basic... I mean, there's that patch there, but there's nothing really here. Right, so if we hop in to a spider... In fact, let's just hop into my spider and get everyone else following us. Yeah. Oh! Thank you very much for the follow. Oh, follow goal met. Blimey. That's an interesting username you've got. Remember a boa Q? Yes, thank you very much for the follow. Yes, so we need to head over. I need to change the sounds because it makes me jump every time, because it's the default Twitch stream studio thing. And they're a bit... thank you very much for the congratulations. Welcome to the stream, by the way. I don't know if you've watched any before, or this is one you're new to, but if you need me to explain kind of what I'm doing, then please do ask, because this is very late, as in very late game, as it were. I'm virtually at a point where I'm about to switch everything on, because it's basically my first attempt at doing a Megabase. But I say I've kind of realised that I made a lot of mistakes because it's the first time, and so I'm switching to an approach of expanding the main base rather than outposting, because outposting was taking so long and it was getting so tedious that I just had to stop that. Really, I'd still be going probably next century if I was trying to work on outposts still. Right, so let's extend this bit of rail here. Over here. So that would be about there. So that's probably a good place to get. Have I got a nice little bit of... There we go. Copy and paste this. Like that. And then go across there a bit. I'll just take it all the way. And then... In fact, I've probably got some... Yeah, I've got a little bit of landfill on me. So if that's the sort of corner there, is that enough room? Yeah, that's enough room, I think. We could go one. What would one more look like? Let's have a look. So if we did one more, it would take me to there, which would actually be better, I think. Yeah, let's do one more. Like that. So I need these guys to fill that bit out. Oh, what did I click on there? I've brought somebody over that I didn't mean to. Oh, it's you, is it? Yeah. First time seeing the stream, already digging the base. If you want me to sort of run you through, as I say, where it is, as it were, and what everything is, then more than happy to do that, because it's a big base. It's bigger than it needs to be, is the reality. But as I say, I sort of made the mistake of... I clicked on the wrong thing there, didn't I? Because that's... What have I done there? Misaligned that somehow. So if that's the rail there we go, that's better. So if we send... You're the rail one, aren't you? But if we send you back and forth, fill that out. Don't mind their biomass. Yes, so basically, so this is the rocket, basically. There's kind of nothing left of it, basically, but there was a starter base in this area, basically. And that I used to then build a bus system. So this is how I do buses. So we got all the smelting. Well, this isn't actually. So this is the smelting adjusted for beacons, basically. So originally the smelting columns went up to there, but then when you add beacons and modules, you can just chop it down and get more stuff out still. So this is the smelting side of things. Originally there was circuit production here, so red, green, and blue in this area, fairly small volumes. Obviously, this is the oil processing for the bus, and then these are the trains, basically providing the material for the bus. Now, originally they went to patches fairly local. I've sort of mined out all of this area, and so much later on, they then basically have some smaller outposts bringing material in, and they're all running on nuclear fuel, these, and it's basically done with coal liquefaction. So basically what I do is I set up a system where it's bringing in uranium and coal onto the bus, and then I use coal liquefaction to produce solid fuel, which I then convert to rocket fuel, uranium fuel, and this is the sort of uranium processing. This is also feeding, as you can see. This is feeding a set of nuclear reactors. These are nuclear islands. This was obviously a lake that I've landfilled. And these are just 2x2 nuclear reactors, basically. So if I was more serious about fueling the entire base, I'd obviously go with a bigger nuclear, set of nuclear reactors. But this is sort of, I did this. There was a couple of points during the series where I ran out of power and I got a bit paranoid, so I put in this, and it's not running the base at all. This is the power chart here. So that's that's the sort of 1,000-hour chart. So as you can see, solar panel and accumulators are able to run the base at the moment, but this blue line here, which is where bit of foreboding for later on, but that's beacons. So I've gone 12 beacons. So it's 24 gigawatts of just to power the beacons, and the science is not running. The Megabase science is not actually running yet. So when these kick in, they're going to be quite heavy, and I'm not convinced I've got enough solar. So I'm keeping the steam turbines around in case it all goes pear-shaped. But these are the solar fields. It's quite funny. A big power jump. Yeah. So it's going to be. It was quite funny when this is my. I've been making my solar panels on the bus, which has turned out to be a bad idea. I should really have a dedicated factory making just solar panels and accumulators, obviously. But it's here because this was my original solar field, and that was like the bus solar field. So this, ran the bus basically. As you can see, it's just grown and grown and grown, and you can effectively see. So this is where I was like, I thought this would run the entire thing originally, and then I started doing on the calculators and stuff. It was like, no way is that going to run the base. And so I kept adding in sections and extending my walls and adding in sections, and I got to this size, and it was like that for ages. And then when I eventually, so all of the science builds are done with beacons. So I'm not going to be adding any more beacons, but I am going to be adding a lot more miners and things like that. And so I added these on, and it's going to be really touch and go whether there's enough. One of the big problems, was that I decided, right, I'll do outposting as the way to bring in the materials. And initially that was fine. So this is like the red outpost. These are the green ones. That's obviously the bus outposts. But then when I got to the purple and gold, the realization dawned that I was just going to need incredible amounts of outposts, more than was really practical. So I switched to trying to extend my walls and just grab this land, and I can have much simpler train things, and I'm not having to send stuff to trains and all that sort of stuff, stuff to outposts and all that malarkey. But basically, yeah. So this bus, as you can see, what I've then done, they were here originally. The circuits, I switched to separate circuit production, and realised actually then I was using up land that I wanted. So I switched all of the circuits to over here. So we've got some big circuit builds, making green circuits. This is this is green circuits again, but feeding blue, and then red should be up here. So red circuits there, and then this is coal liquefaction again. I'm a big fan of coal liquefaction. I think it's way better than fluids. And this is the coal liquefaction to make the plastic for them. It's mostly sat idle at the moment because there's no science going on. These are the original labs. And there's no science sort of happening at the moment. In fact, I should probably set up another one going. But what I've discovered, so another thing I've discovered is when I decided I was going outposts, because I like to build fancy walls. So these are sort of, I like to make walls that are a bit more aesthetically pleasing rather than purely practical. So they do work. They're a bit underpowered, to be honest with you, before I got buffed. But I like to make walls like that. But then you have this issue when you have to go outside that you need, an additional way of getting the trains outside the walls. And what I do with these is I restock them through a train system. And this train system drops off ammo and oil and shells and all that sort of stuff for this, right? And the way I usually do that is it's a loop, gigantic loop, basically, right around the base. And so it comes in here, and these are the restock things. Oops. These are the restock things, rather, for the walls. So they're taking all of the stuff that the walls might need as they get attacked and damaged and all that sort of stuff there. However, that gives me a problem in that my stuff in the middle has to get out past this, this loop. And the system I've put together here, basically, this causes massive bottlenecks. So I'm basically pushing when these turn on, these are all 484 trains for the science builds. When they turn on, they'll be dashing in and out here, and that'll cause massive pollution spikes, which will cause attacks. And that'll send out trains to restock my outpost with artillery and ammo and etc., etc. So I'm going to get a situation where loads and loads of trains are trying to get through here and also trying to refuel these. And these are just bottlenecks. So the other reason for extending the walls is that it alleviates any pressure. I can basically just pull up these junctions and make them super simple. I don't need trains. If I stop doing outposts, because the outposts are being restocked with ammo and stuff via this system as well. So this is what that junction is for. It allows all trains of all types to come in and out, but that causes a bottleneck. So, for example, here, these ones here at the moment are military blue and gold going out to these outposts. So there is an enormous amount of traffic going to be coming through here, and it's just going to cause it all to grind to a halt. And I know that because that's what's happened here with the bus trains. So in terms of the outposts, basically doing on-site smelting to try and reduce flow, essentially. So we've got, this is a copper one, for example. So, it's hooked into several patches, just there. And then it's all smelted locally, put on the trains. As it happens, I thought I'd be able to do both, the bus and the science from these, and that was another mistake as well. So that's not a good example. The better ones are probably over here. So there you go. So there's iron. So it's doing local smelting and then sticking it all on a train. Bit of a smart system for telling it how much material is there, but a dumb system. So like just trains going to named stations on the other end for the actual science builds. Each of the science builds are specifically designed to give a 5,000. Well, it's actually 5,400 because of how the maths works. It's just easier to get rounded numbers of like buildings if you go with 5,400 for a 12 beacon build. It's just a weird quirk of the maths, basically. The exception is white science. That's different. And I think military is different, I seem to remember. But these are set up and designed so that it feeds in, I was going to say raw material, but it's, initially processed material. So iron plate, copper plate, stone brick, raw stone, raw coal if needed, and what's the other one? I guess oil in a sense. And then it makes everything it needs. So, green science is inserters and belts. So it's making the inserters and belts in the right sort of ratios to feed the number of factories that I've got. So I'm not doing any kind of, I'm not making green. I've not got a big, gigantic green circuit factory. I've not got a gigantic steel factory or anything like that. I'm doing purely local production. And I say, each of these has been designed specifically to give the same amount of science output. And obviously, it loads it onto a train, brings it down to this here, which is the unloading for science, feeds it into the labs. So obviously, red and green are pretty simple. You're just cogs and raw materials. The more interesting ones are like the purple. Well, I suppose there's blue science is down here. Blue science has a separate, like sulfur and plastic production area. I think actually I'm using oil on that, but generally I've gone coal liquefaction. So this is the blue science. So these are all blue science machines there, and then you've got the engines and the steel and the plate and the pipes for the engines. So it sort of moves them all through, feeds them onto the factories, and then feeds them into the things. And down the bottom here, we've got red circuits, and obviously the sulfur's coming in the other area, out the top there. So shapes are taking long. Yeah, they're getting enormous. I'm actually getting to a point now, Raven, where basically I have to keep archiving all the save files because I use the Steam Cloud, and the save files are so big. I mean, they're about 200 meg now, that you can only get like 10 before the entire Steam, cloud is full up. Something like that. And basically, I have to keep. I've only got like 10 saves or something like on the system because I'm a bit of a habitual saver of new files, basically. And then this is purple here. Obviously, a much more complicated build. And I've got this. There's this. I quite like this. I think it looks quite good. And this is a particular one that that thing where all Factorio bases end up looking like CPUs. Like chips, basically. Microprocessors. And this, I think, is one of the closest to that, where it's like particularly that area. But yeah, it's the same idea each time, that I'm making what I need locally rather than having some big central factory that I then train everything round. The big advantage of that is obviously these are designed for that amount of science. But if I suddenly said, right, well, I want to now make 6,000 science a minute, I couldn't do that. I would have to completely redesign these factories. I can't just stamp down. I haven't got a 1,000 science factory that I can just stamp down as many as I want of. This is gold. Gold science here. Obviously in the center there. And low density structures is an enormous part of it, with the steel that it's made. And then you've obviously got the blue circuits there with everything they've got. And your robot frames and batteries and all that sort of stuff to do it. So that's the general philosophy of it done. And the idea, this one has its own particular chemical build, basically, because it needs loads of plastic and loads of sulfuric acid and lube and all that sort of stuff. And then the white science builds are done slightly differently, in that because of the thing that rockets take quite a long time to put the materials in and launch. Although it's going for 5,000 science, I need 6 white science builds. So these are all each independent, but with a central plastic provision, basically. So this is 3 factories producing plastic, with the material then being sort of distributed around to each of those, and a separate satellite production area there. I need to look into integrating coal liquefaction into my bases. I always treated it as just one of those quirky recipes, never give it a proper look. So, I mean, I really like it. It has the disadvantage that you kind of need to have. You can't just do cold liquefaction. I mean, obviously, from a science point of view, you can't anyway, because you've got to do blue science before you can even get cold liquefaction. But I say I really like it because it massively reduces the whole oil, like mining, oil drilling, and all that side of it, and delivering oil. And I hate the fluids in Factorio. I used to just not dislike them, but having done a lot of this, I've kind of come to hate them because it makes no sense how the fluids work. And when you're trying to do things on scale, it's like these here. Where's the oil drop off? This here, this is almost probably not going to work because I've tried to do it simply, and it just doesn't work simply. And it's sort of I've just really grown quite annoyed by how badly it all behaves, basically. And so basically coal liquefaction, does away with that, and you can just literally take coal and turn it into whatever you want. And obviously you have a bit of fluid going on. Here we go. So, there are a lot of pipes going around here, but the whole loading up of fuel, of oil, basically, is just got rid of, and it's just coal being dropped off. And then you can just sort of stick loads and loads of pumps in to just get it to work, basically. And obviously with plastic's particularly good because you need the coal for the plastic as well. So with this, you've only got one material that you're dropping off, coal, and that's it. It's too bad the low density structures use up quite a bit of copper to make. Yeah, it's they're real. I say this a lot, but low density structures, it's like they don't make sense because they're steel, copper, and plastic, and somehow that's low density. And it's like steel isn't low density, and copper's quite dense as well. So it's like I don't quite know the logic of that, but apparently if you stick loads and loads of that together, you get something that's low density. Okay, so right, where are we? I think that was basically everything. I mean, it's not. It's obviously big scale. But so, if there's anything you're particularly interested in, I can run you through how I do buses. That's one thing people seem to be interested in a lot of the time. But so I don't know if there's a standard way of doing a bus, but I say it tends to be something that I really enjoy doing. But yeah. Right, so we need to get these trains up and running. So what we want to do is have a bit of a corner here. Like that, which means we need a landfill here somewhere. Like, did I miss that? I missed that, didn't I? I was in the wrong place. Let's get all of you lot out of the way so I can see what I'm doing. Yeah, got that in the wrong place. There we go. Right, so let's connect that there. And so if we want to go down, we want to go down there, don't we? Like that. Cool. So we will send you lot down there. I don't understand if the game devs added aluminium to the game and made that one of the ingredients to low density structures, since aluminium is lighter than steel. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I guess they needed to balance complexity with, the types of things that they wanted to make. But yeah, I mean, and to some, I guess if they, I guess they could make aluminium like a different system. So, you could have a different, a different smelter, as it were. So, because I think they tend to use electrolysis, I think, for actual aluminium production. But you could introduce that. Oh, That's too far. As the way of making it slightly, more complicated. Because obviously, if you introduce aluminium, then you would just make low density structures out of those. So they would actually be simpler in a sense. It would be a single ingredient product. So, if the idea is that as you go up, the tech tree in Factorio, in fact, let's probably undo that one as well. Things get more and more complicated to produce. If you suddenly started introducing aluminium, it would suddenly get simpler because it's just one ingredient, So I guess they were like, well, let's make it complicated without introducing another material for people to produce. But I certainly think, one more. I mean, another one, they could have done titanium or something like that, because obviously titanium is used a lot in the, aircraft and, aerospace industry. So that might have been another option. So, if we're coming at it from this direction, because I think for this first one, we can actually sort of cheekily nip up here, stick the train line through that gap. And then how close could that be? So if this was the new... let's find this. At the end, surely. Got so many blueprints in this blooming thing. Did I even blueprint it? I thought I did. I've not put it in the old block, have I? Oh no, maybe I didn't. Did I pop it in here? No. Oh, I didn't blueprint that. By the looks of things. Because this is the old... That's the old coal. So we don't want that. Oh, never blueprinted it. Okay. Oh no, there it is. There you go. So if that was there, that's too close, isn't it? Can't do a junction. Could do it that way round. Put it here or here or here or somewhere, or maybe even there. And do a sort of funky corner. That'll probably work. Okay. So, have you put the rail in? You have. So if I was going up here... I started getting to the stage where I just want to finish this. I say things like, properly sorting out the blueprints and all that sort of stuff are kind of things that I should really do. But I say I almost just want to finish this base, and then kind of I can analyze all the flaws and problems for a future attempt. So that's probably in the wrong position, isn't it? So, but in terms of this actual, Megabase, so if that was there, that would work, I think. Yeah. So I kind of almost done with it in a sense. I'm not. Still a lot to do, but. I say we are very, very close. It's this is all ready to go. It just needs its resources, and then the only one that's a problem, or that hasn't got its resources, is gold. At the moment, it's pulling from the same outposts as blue and purple, but that's not going to provide enough stuff. So I've then got the question of, do I add in more outposts? Yawn. Or do I start reclaiming this area with my new wall extension system? Because what I'm really thinking is that this won't be quite enough power to run the base when it's up and running. And what I'll actually have to do is start extending out here so that I can use this area for solar panels, because there's quite a nice little thing here where I can basically take a copy of this and go out of here somewhere and put a new solar panel drop-off point, and that'll save me having to build an entire solar panel factory, which I say I should have done a long time ago, but I'm getting to the point where it's just like, let's finish this, let's draw a line on it, under it in a sense. And I can, if I ever do another one of these, I can correct all the mistakes in the, in the second series. Why have you not put that in? Is it because, what's going on there? I think there was a floating signal in the way. Oh, I don't want that junction anyway, because they aren't going to have to go down. What I want is that junction. There we go, that's better. That's better. So that must be slightly, that's slightly too far, isn't it? There we go. There we go. Okay, let's go and have a look up here. Welcome back anyway, Night Revan. I didn't say hello. Hope you're doing okay. Yeah. So we want this in a slightly different position. I think we probably want it sort of here, maybe, or as I say, maybe turn it at an angle or something. Because the idea of this is, I'm going to go up for the iron as well, so we can rework that design. So I don't want to. I mean, what I could do a junction here. I keep picking the wrong thing up. Because if this has, I still want to do local smelting. In fact, yeah, that's what we'll do. So I'll come up here, and then we'll do a junction here, and we'll put this above it, as it were, to keep it out of the way. And then I can, put a smelting thing there. Yeah, that's what we'll do. We have a plan. What are you doing? Why is that not? Oh, that's because that's not the correct power pole, is it? There we go. I actually spaced them out further because it was getting quite annoying. I think they're every half an hour or something now, the auto-saves. It was getting quite annoying how long it was taking, but, it's a gigantic amount in the save file, so... I mean, it's kind of miraculous that they're as quick as they are. Not miraculous, I mean, just another testament to Wooby. So if we take this a bit past, cool. Then we want to pick. In fact, I bet you've got modules and stuff, haven't you? Yeah, there we go. We can fill all that in. But we actually want to pick this up. All of this business. Don't need this connection either. So let's let everyone work on that. And then I didn't actually put the requests in, did I? So I need to tweak this blueprint anyway. But if this was... Oh, is somebody full? Somebody's full, aren't they? Yeah. That. You've got... Another thing I would do differently is building. So in fact, let's put some stuff in here. Because the spiders are great on many levels. But also a bit annoying on many levels. And having a train carry a load of stuff is kind of a... a good idea. That's probably one thing. Why are you... Oh. Another thing I would do differently is come up with a system that paired the two of them together. So what do we want here? We want this. Oh, we want it relatively close to here, I think. Like that. Draw on the thing again. I like this thing they've introduced. So basically, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the train. Let's do it slightly differently. Take the train line probably up here, and then we can put the iron smelting and that there. And so I do that basically, and then I can extend that up. Probably won't grab that patch there because it's too much of a pain. It's only 11 million. Right, are you done? No? Okay. So I forgot to put the requests on these, so we do need to sort of tweak it a little bit. That's not a problem. Not a problem. Grab that. Why have you not... Oh, it's because I forgot my bots. I was thinking, where are all those requested? Because I picked them all up, so why aren't they there? But it's because they're in my inventory rather than the spiders. Okay, so actually, if I tweak that first. So we want to request up. I want to request up that. Well, it's 2,400, isn't it? 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 1,000, 2,000. So it's 2,400 in theory. Do I just want to request 2,000? Because that's effectively a train load. Well, not effectively, that's a train load. And that would be 12 lots of train loads. That's a bit overkill, isn't it? My other stops have got more, you know, it's like self-compensating a bit. Because I'm worried if I put these too high, it's going to give the bots too much to do. And I would need a lot more bots than is sensible, really. Yeah, I think we'll set it at 1,000. It's relatively easy to change. So yeah, we'll set it at 1,000. Just chuck those in. Oh, so we don't have... Huh. We're a couple short. I don't suppose you lot have got any, have you? Come here. Come here. Where are you going? Yeah, you've got some. There we go. Okay. Okay. Let's try that again. Sounds like a typewriter. Right. So it's just randomly pick a few and see. Yeah. 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 Okay, cool. So that's like 12,000, because there's 12 chests per wagon, which is six wagons worth, basically. So effectively, there should be 6 trains worth of stuff in theory. Yeah, which is too much, really, but we'll see how we get on. Right, so we want to tweak this and do that. And then I can just simply get rid of that bit, get rid of that, get rid of that, get rid of them, and oh, I think I might. Sometimes easier if you save them, and then you can more easily ignore the ghosts. Is that done? Yeah, there you go. So that's the new coal station. Better than the old coal station. Right. So. How far down do I actually want to do this? I want to give myself plenty of room. I don't think I need... Oh, I forgot to put the train station names on. In fact, why didn't it... Oh, I forgot to do it right at the beginning. That was silly. So what do I actually want to call these? These need to be... Just pick up, isn't it? Yeah, there we go. So they need to be that. Coal pickup. Okay, let's have another go at that. I'll get this right in the end. I promise I have played this game before. Down to here. Like so. Let's say get rid of them. Where's the minus? Don't need them. Them. Save that. Tweak that. Get rid of those. Check it's okay. See, it's got train stop names ticked, so why didn't it? Because they would have had the names that had on the original. Yeah. I don't quite understand why that's not quite worked. So if we connect this like so, and then wait for that to charge. Cool. And then yeah, so we're going to need a couple of hundred bots in each network at least. I don't think I've got that many with me, but because I got them in there. Oh, have you not got any loggy bots? Okay. I think these ones have. So one of those slight, having said I would, just want to get on with things and just get it finished sort of thing. Or get it, or switch it on and find how bad everything works. Yeah. I'm going to have to do some tweaking of what the spiders have got in them because, I'm going to need loads of loggy bots now. probably wants about 300. I have obviously got them. In fact, it might be better if it was there, really, because then, for future reference, because then they're just flying a very short distance. It's good. So they did a whole thing. They didn't used to. Bot mining used to be an absolute pain because they wouldn't distribute things evenly. They would just do shortest journey. So these ones, they're obviously doing shortest journey here, but I don't mind about that. So long as there's stuff for them to get at, that's fine. I don't mind this patch being unevenly, mined out. But it was uneven here as well. So they would literally go, from these chests to these chests, and so you would have more stuff in the middle and nothing at the edges. But they actually tweaked it so that they basically distribute stuff fairly evenly. It's never perfect. But you see, each of those have now got 100 in, 100, 100. So they put stuff in much more evenly. So it becomes a lot easier to do bot-based mining. Because you used to have to do things where you would have different types of chests, and it always used to be really messy. So yeah, we need a lot more bots, basically. Probably more than well, definitely more than 300. Because what I was hoping is that this light would come on, because this should basically. So when it gets to 16,000, it will come on, but it's getting there very slowly. So yeah, I need a lot more bots, but as I say, the spiders haven't got more bots, so that's one of the things I need to tweak. Yeah, I need a lot more. I've got far too many miners, roboports, I guess, as well. Probably makes sense, actually, if, depending on which side I put the patch on, I take out one of the rows. But they only have like 4 charge points, so if there ends up being, say, maybe even 600 bots, because it's 2 stations, so it's only 300 each. How would that work? So if it's 300 each, they carry 3, I think. 3 bits of coal. Might be 4, actually. No, it's 4, isn't it? So carry 4. So that's more than a train's worth per set of bots. So that would probably work out quite well. 250 might work better. So 500 in total. Yeah, so a light's finally come on, but that took a lot longer than it would do if it was belts, which is, so I was sort of expecting, but more because I don't have the bots with me. So if this is a corner like that, there, yep, that's going to miss. But to be safe, let's take it 1 up. And then we're going up here. Like that. Crossing over there. Okay. In the corner. Wrong corner. Like that. Oops. You're connected. Yeah, it's all fine. Awesome. Extra bit of track there for some reason. Okay, so if we go up here with a bit of rail. So, let's hop out. Take you out the way. Turn my bots off. Okay, so if we put this away, like that. I might put a bot on it as well to remind me. Right. So that's the bot-based version of coal mining. Okay, so wrong thing. We want what do I want? I want that, and then I want to kind of see. So if that was there, and that was there, wouldn't quite cover the patch. But how far do the roboports? Oh, I bet we haven't got any roboports at all. So if a roboport was here, so basically this blueprint, so it could probably do like one more miner. So it's sort of going down the middle of this one. Yeah, okay. And I got the option, I guess, of if we do a gap basically, or put a hole in it basically. That's probably easiest to put a hole in it. So if that was like that. Excuse me. Oh, it's because they bring them over from there, isn't it? Actually, let's just go with that. So if these were like that, and like that, like that, another 2 rows maybe. Yeah, that'll do. Okay. Oh, I keep looking for roboports, but so that's another thing. Basically, I'm not carrying around very many roboports because it was never previously a robot-based build. In fact, actually, that would probably work as is. Yeah. Oh dear. Not sure if you're still there, Boa, but it just occurred to me I usually ask when people sort of drop in for the first time, sort of what they've played of the game, whether they're sort of new to it or, you know, whether they're massively experienced and got thousands of hours, because you can never really tell with Factorio whether, you know, people have played it through, and because I tend to lurk around or hang around, I guess, the Reddit forums for Factorio, and you know, you get a lot of people sort of saying, I continuously tear up my base, and I've never launched a rocket, or posting that after 500 hours they finally launched a rocket, that sort of thing. So I say it can be quite interesting to see whether people have launched or not sometimes, because I say it's quite interesting that different approaches people have to sort of playing the game. The main thing is to have fun, of course. It's not. But So what I'm probably about doing here is like almost like an L shape to the build, I think. So if we have the smelting sort of here, and then the actual pickup for the rail here, it's probably a bit better. But I can keep my these and just tweak them, I think. So, which one is that? That's the smelting, isn't it? Which way round is it? It's that way round. Oh, no, that's the mixed. That's stone. So I don't need to bother with that. That's... yeah, this is iron smelting / copper smelting. So it's very long, isn't it, that way? Do they end up... they roughly end up square, though, don't they? No, they're more... oh, no, that's stone, isn't it? No, they're more rectangular, aren't they? So it would be better, if the patch was there. Because if the patch is there, then there's quite some long travel times. Also, I don't know... is that going to be far enough? I don't have to bother, though, with... oh, no, I got to cover it with roboports to get... yeah, that'll work, though. To get delivery going on. Oh, will it? Oh, no, they're going to be too big for roboports, aren't they? Might have to sacrifice a couple of mod beacons. Lauren says, I like it when the person tells me that they are new to the game. It's always hard to tell if they don't say anything. Yeah. Yeah, I don't mind. I just sort of blather on anyway. There are plenty of streams where it's clearly nobody's watching, and it can be a little demoralising, that. But if you're having a particularly good stream and sort of no one's seen it, but it's why I check them on YouTube as well, because they seem to get a handful of people watching there, so it's like at least somebody's seen it. But I just blather on anyway. I just rabbit on. I kind of do it anyway. As part of one of the reasons I started streaming is that I kind of talk to myself when I'm gaming. I never used to realise that, but somebody pointed it out to me. That I'd occasionally just talk to myself. Right, so yeah, so it really needs to be this way round is the problem. Or not problem, is the issue. To sort of minimise travel time. I think we should take out these trees because they're just going to get in the way. Like that. Where's the... oh, I've got so many blueprints in this book. It's getting a bit silly. So if we get rid of all of this, have you lot run around. See what you can do. I don't know, randomly going about the place. That'll do. Okay, so let's find the smelter blueprint again, because I don't need any of the belt bits to it. That's sort of the trick, really. So if we just plop it down, and then I'll just sort of edit the belts out. Or do I? Am I gonna do? Yeah, I just filled all that out. No, this blueprint is useless, isn't it? Because all it's got on it is sort of irrelevant for what I'm doing. So basically, we should start again, I think. Yeah, you have to start again. Because basically... oh, shush. Yeah, I think I just have to do it again. Because basically, that's all, belt-based loading and unloading of the smelters. And I want to do all of that with bots now. So that blueprint doesn't really have anything in it. You know, so it tells me the right number of smelters. Where is it? But that's kind of all it tells me. So 16 smelters per row and 9 rows. I suppose, in a way, I mean, I got 16 because that's how many it takes to fill 2 sets of trains. But I don't really need to do that. Yeah, we could just come up with a new design, basically. Where's the... In fact, does it even need to be a fairly large one? I don't think it does it? We could go a bit more compact. Let's grab some of those beacons I just chucked away. And Pinky, I think, has smelters. Oh, you're full of wood, are you? I thought... I guess you're at the front, weren't you? Because they should be filling out there. Oh, somebody else is too full as well. So let's just grab that out of the way. Have you not got smelt? Yeah, you've got smelters. Okay. Shoved out the way. The bots in that system will take all of the wood away. But yeah, basically, because I've got, you know, I don't need this gap, basically, because I'm not feeding any belts in. So I can have a bit more of a compact thing. I still want to do 12, because it's sort of a principle now. Is that 12? Still? Let's check where them in. Oh. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Yeah, 12 sources. And I can just literally put good old-fashioned. Should I put... Yeah, I might as well put them together. Should we do... Yeah, let's do passives on this one. And that's it, basically. So we want to request up, say... I don't know, what's a good headroom to have? Maybe make it 200? It's probably a bit much there. And then I think cap this chest, because we don't want tons and tons of iron in both here and in the, you know, and in the train. We do want a bit of room though, so we'll have one row there, I think. 100. I mean, that's only 2 stacks, so maybe 250. So that would be 5 stacks, and then obviously with prods, we'll get some more out of it. So, yeah. Okay. Cool. So, how many do I actually want? In fact, is that a good orientation? It probably makes sense, I think, to think of a row of rover ports in the middle. And how many can I then fit around it? Will it do 3? Oh, I should have... So if we turn this round and put it... In fact, let's just grab that. It annoys me that it sometimes the things it shows and doesn't show with the roboports and stuff. Right, is that in... That's in the loggy area. So that would be sort of the furthest we could go. But we don't need to. We can go one closer. Like that. The furthest up we could go. But then I still want to do relatively close. Let's see how many we can get there. Oops. Forgot it wasn't a tile blueprint then. So if we do that... So that's in line. And that's in line. So that's sort of the safest, in quotes. So how many is there? It's only like 12, isn't it? 15. So we do want a lot more than that. So maybe... Maybe we sort of double this. I mean, I've just stuck these in, but yeah, might do them a bit more spaced out, basically. But we'll give this a go. So how many is that now? That must be 30. So if we do that... Wait, why is it... Oh. These aren't rotated. Bottom. Okay. Right. So what I'm thinking here, basically, because that's 30 and that's 60. So say if I double this up, we will need a connecting roboport to make these into one network. But that then is 120. If I add one more at the top, what does that look like? 132. So actually, if I added 2 more rows, it would be the same number of... Yeah. Oops. So if I added this and this, I think we'll get rid of these. Oh. Somewhat went weird there. No. There. How many ports are there? So it's 23. It's a lot of roboports. How about we have 20, if that'll work? Because this one, 20 is probably overkill actually. But yeah, so if I have 18, in fact, how far down could this go? We could have that one as the lowest one. If I need a connecting... if I need a connecting roboport, how can I do that? So it would need to be there. So that would be fine. Right, so let's give that a go as a blueprint. Probably don't really even need that one because there's going to be a train at the bottom. It'd be really useful on that disconnection thing if it told you why it had disconnected. But I guess to some extent they're not going to know, because if it's my internet service provider that's just, failed, as it were, how are they going to know? But if it's a Twitch connection issue, some problem with Twitch, so this has got 132 smelters in it. I was going to add some more rows on, wasn't I? Except, oh no, this is a mess. I've not. Okay. Not done that at all, right. So I want another row at the top here. Does that? It doesn't quite reach, does it? So take that there. And then take that out. So that gives me 156. That's too many now. How have I managed that? 144. So it's exactly the same number of smelters as before, but in a sort of a more compact design. Okay, I like it. Right, so we go down here. How far down do we have to actually go? So we need one more. Perfect. Okay, so get rid of that. Copy that. Oh. Moobot's having a thing. Good day, fellow Hugh. If you recently changed your password on Twitch, please log into my dashboard and regrant any lost access. Twitch would have automatically revoked it. This will affect any of the features that run ads, display subcounts, update the stream's title and category. That's interesting. Given Moobot doesn't really seem to actually work in terms of how I would want it to work, I'm not actually fussed about granting it back access. Obviously, I've changed the password with, with the Twitch leak and stuff, just as a precautionary thing, really. As it turns out, they posted a message today basically saying passwords weren't revealed, Now, as I understand it, if they lie about that, they're in deep trouble. If they were saying that and it actually was exposed, credit card details and stuff, then they would be in deep trouble with the EU and stuff, because they basically had a data breach, which bangs right up against GDPR, and I don't think the EU would take too much sort of persuading to hit Twitch for all that they were worth, because I imagine they're not not one of their favourite companies type of thing, or it's a good way for them to be seen to be doing things pro-consumer and that sort of thing. So if this is, have I got any? What I'm actually thinking of doing, because I'm happy with that as a conceptually, but we need to excuse me. We need to kind of run the whole thing. to see if it will sort of work, like with the coal. So I can just send these guys round to do stuff. But because we're going to need a load of more roboports. I wonder why it's done that after 2.5 hours, though. You'd think they'd have that set up to fire off, instantaneously as soon as you started streaming. Oh, that's it. It didn't even occur to me. But as I say, the thing doesn't work properly. It's set up to do all sorts of things that it just doesn't do. And that, well, I say it doesn't work. That could obviously be my incompetence, but in fact, probably is my incompetence. But I'll leave a bit of room. I think I just want to plop this in the middle. So this is obviously the coal one. But the only real difference is going to be like the size of the the quantity on the train and the request, basically. It's identical otherwise, isn't it? Oh. Yeah, so if we get these guys to run around this bit. In fact, I wonder how many have they got left. But we can tweak some of the recipes of the bots to sort things out. The idea, the reason I have I'm explaining this to nobody, apart from people probably watching on an archive on YouTube who don't see any of the chat messages because I don't like that sort of stuff on streams. But yeah, I have the MooBot. The idea being it can do auto modding was kind of the intention. But as I say, it's set up to do all sorts of stuff that it doesn't do. So it's like, is the whole thing not a bit redundant? So it doesn't look like we've got anything left, does it? Which is a bit surprising. I thought I'd set them up to do one full set of smelters, but I guess not. So let's bring some of these guys over and tweak their recipes. Tweak their logistics requests. Probably not going to edit these ones because they're the wall builders. Mostly wall builders, anyway. But we'll have a look. So, I could fit on some loggy chests there, couldn't I? In fact, I'm looking at the wrong ones already. So, because he's full, basically. He's not really got any room. But if I'm now switching to... You see, this is a question. If I do end up doing more outposts, having belts is useful. Yeah, so I think I'll leave that. Chemicals I never really went that mad for with these numbers. And do I need any? Not particularly. Okay, so maybe if we tweak this, so this is maybe 50. Is that too low? That's probably too low, isn't it? Make that, say, 70 then. Yeah. And then we can fit in 3 sets of logistics ports. In fact, or would it be better? Because don't you have loggy bolts in you? No, you don't. So we could add in a request for 30. Oh, I didn't count that. There we go. Like that. And put them in there. Like that. I probably don't need 50 of them So we could get rid of them, take that down to 30, and add in some Logibot requests instead. So 100 there, 100 there. So we then got more Logibots. Logibots, Logibots. Bots for you and me. Do I want to tweak you at all? I don't think I do I? This is the train one. I'm pretty much happy with him. These, as I've demonstrated, I don't really have any changes to make there. So really, these are the only guys with sort of proper room to manoeuvre. Now, I know one of them... Here we go. So that's got them already. So we could basically double them, no problem. Double both of these. So we can make this 200. And make this 40. Not 403, 40. And then we can put 2 more there. 2 more there. What else would we need? We need like more storage and stuff and passive providers and all of those, really. You know, those are all gone. So we certainly want... Oops. Didn't mean to do that. More of them. So this is a sort of thing that... Yeah, we used up all of them. So you've already got 30. So you could have 40 of them. A couple of more of them. So maybe take that to 200. And 40. What about you? Oh, you're... I mean, you are pointless now, really, aren't you? So I like to have a little bit of room so they can put wood in. So it's this one I could add in Logibots and Logiports. No problem. I think. We see it tends to be, it's the lead one that tends to fill up with rubbish, but I think a couple more here would not hurt. And we want Logiports. I'd say this is the one of the trickiest things I've found. You know, setting these things up and stuff, and that's why I kind of did it to try and avoid using trains, because I always find trains, in terms of, you know, building trains, quite painful. Because you naturally tend to work in terms of stacks. You know, stack sizes. But it's not actually that useful. I might... should I keep you down here? Because we need to do a bit of train stuff, so I might as well keep you down here. And then we'll have you lot follow you. And up there. Did I ever send those guys back? No, I didn't, did I? Foolish. Foolish. Right, is everyone following that one? It is. Right, so the reason I'm sort of contemplating a lot is because it's such a long way to go. It takes ages. Right. That's that. We've got you. We've also still got you. I bet you've got a couple of little bits. A couple of little treats in as well. I think I'm mostly... Oh, don't need that in there. Mostly going to send you over to here. See, these are the, you know, I can just get rid of this relatively easily from just the one point, basically. Right, so we're getting you. Oh, I bet I need green inserters, don't I? Because I've used green inserters for everything there. Okay, so what we do need to change these things. So this now needs to be 32. And so does this. And now these need to request iron plate. Which is where? Which is there. We probably need to double the size of the request. Yeah. So it needs to be a 2,000 request, doesn't it? Because the trains are... Oh. Actually, I never quite know with copying and pasting whether it does everything. I'll have to remember that I've not done all of that. Right, anyway, we can hook the train up while we're waiting for for spiders to do their thing. I hope it's not going to consistently be a pain, and because I don't actually need this railway up here because there's nowhere for it to go. I keep dropping the connection out. That's going to be really annoying because another thing, to be honest with you, it could do with an audio alert of some description to tell you that it's happened. Maybe I can configure that somehow. Well, that was quick. I thought that would take a little bit longer. So these need to be changed to iron. How are you doing? You've still got stuff in you, have you? Okay. And there's only a quarter of an hour left on the stream. So you had the problem. So there are multiple problems with it, obviously. Just dying. But, you know, if there are people watching, I think it kicks them off, basically. Don't think it puts them... I know, with YouTube's thing, if, like, the connection is lost, the stream sort of keeps going. Oh, I forgot about them. Oh, yeah, that's why it didn't do it, because... Oh, no. It ran out of things, didn't it, rather than... Speed modules rather than beacons. Okay. Right, so... What we're going to do then, if we head home as well... And then I might just chuck some of these... I might just start putting some of this on stream, as it were. Show how this works. So basically... I mean, it's all good to go now, essentially. What I need to do now, though, is replace these things with the actual wall version, and put in these bridges and all that sort of stuff. But that's all blueprinted. So basically, what I do, if I remember where it is in the list. So this is. So there's two sides, obviously the left and the right. There's then, that's like the connection at the other end, but there's then a corner and the bottom piece. So they are slightly different, which is why they are different things. But basically this goes over the top here, and it's set up to, be repeatable. So basically, I just chuck these in, and they'll fill out the lasers, and that then gives a bit of coverage while I'm, you know, filling the rest of it out, as it were, or because basically I need to pick up what's there. Oh no, did that wrong. I need to pick all of this stuff up, and then essentially reuse it. You know, there's loads of storage chests and stuff kicking around for if it fills them up and all that. And the material then, can be used in the next line, as it were. So it gets sort of recycled, basically. But yeah. In fact, I need to do that one as well, don't I? So, did I do that on this side? No. So we need that. So this, it needs to become a straight bit. But yeah, it's a whole set of individual logistics networks, I say, to avoid massive bot travel times and all those sorts of issues. So I want to start this one really. And then we want the corner. Unfortunately, I did mess up the walls here, so there's like a double line of walls because I got the wrong angle, basically. But I need to... This one gets a bit weird anyway because of the side on which the roboports are on and stuff, so it is a bit... it's easier. It's actually better to pick it up first, but, I'd rather keep some defense there. So that's that one. And then this is the horizontal one. And it's, well, this is different, but it's 3, basically. So that goes there, and then it's 1, 2, 3 on either side. So it's different here because, it's a bigger thing, but basically it goes then 1, 2, 3. Oh, did 4 by accident. And then if we do 3 that way. So you can't see, but there's that, and then there's like a special bridging one which has the logistics bridge on it. But so I can't put that in until we've got these in. Oh, that's a point. They don't have radars on them. So I'm not actually going to see that bit there at all, am I? I can manually pop one on later on. But yeah, well, I might as well do that. I forgot that because these have radars on them, but I never put one in on the horizontal ones. Oh well. Let's see if we can't, add a radar in to each of these then. And then we want a radar here probably. Where are radars? There we go. Like that. And like that. Like there. 3. This one's obviously, that one's, where that one's long, this one's short. So, because it's basically where it's misaligned with the corners of the original walls, basically. 2, 3, oops, did 4. So I think this is just the one, I think it does. And then it's the bridge. So yeah, I can show you the bridge here, let me see. So this just connects. Obviously this is differently aligned because of, so it's not the same size gap. But the basic idea is that the gap between the 2 orange squares is the logistics bridge. It is the gap between the 2 networks. As it happens, this is not a bridge, but I've got a separate thing here for, because we'll be inserting a similar gap here, and then this allows me to bridge across basically between the two. I think it's that one I use actually on this side, but it basically goes like that and puts a separation between the two. I have to manually put in a roboport, and in order to build it, but yeah, that's the basic idea. So yeah, so this is this isn't the bridge, but it's a gap between them to separate them out. So effectively there's a set of T-shaped logistics networks, and yes, all right, the bots would potentially travel diagonally, but with the bot speeds I've got, that's a sort of doable sort of a thing. But yeah, so they'll chunk away doing that, and it's quite slow because there's only like 50 loggy bots in each thing, and it's a sort of a relay. So basically there's material being dropped off here by train, it gets fed into the next network, which then is finished. So the bots are basically just logistics bots moving the stuff down, but it's a pull effect, of course. So this is saying, I need lasers. Effectively, there are no lasers, so well, there will be a gap there, but it's one network at the moment. This says, right, go and get some lasers, and there's lasers here, and when that, as you can see, it moves the lasers across. So this has now only got 43 lasers in it, and it's requesting 50, and it'll grab them from here. From here, or any storage chests that happen to have them in. But as you can see, there's no lasers. So what should have happened here? If it's completely you see, this is the slight flaw in that if it completely empties something, it's not going to request the train. But I didn't want to put any kind of a more complicated network on. I mean, eventually something will be requested, that it needs, essentially. But so it's the slight problem of if it uses up everything, it sets it to 0, and this check everything doesn't check for the absence of something. So yeah, some painful bits. But what will happen is, say that when there are more lasers and stuff in there than there are in the... So in these 10 things here, there's more lasers and walls than there are in the outer walls. So once they've built what they can, once I start deconstructing it, they can fill in the rest of the blueprints. It doesn't need restocking from here to do these. In fact, there's usually some left over. But yeah, that's kind of how it works. And the idea, I say, it's not quick necessarily, but it is all doable remotely, which is what I kind of want, really, rather than having to send spiders around and around and around. Because as mentioned on other occasions, shouldn't there be a roboport? Oh, there should be one there, but it's not quite covered by the radar. There. Yes, I'd forgotten there wasn't a radar on this blueprint. Okay. Yeah, so they sort of chunk away doing what they can for a while. and then, whoops, and then it all seems to work. So there's an error. Oh, I haven't turned my thing on. What have you got in you? We could also get you to grab a load of roboports and bots, couldn't we? So let's grab... I bet there's millions of bots in the system. Oh no, only 500. Guess I've capped that somewhere. So that should be 10 and 10. Cool. How am I doing? That. Oh, I can get rid of them. So there is an error here. So I need radar, basically. So we need a radar or two for this. Because I can't see anything. So that was an error. But I need to fix the requests anyway. How are we doing with time? So it's nearly 6 o'clock. So I'd normally end, but obviously I've lost sort of 5 or 10 minutes. So I'll just do a little bit extra. Assuming you've now got everything. Yeah, brilliant. Okay, so we'll head back down again. I say I will add a radar in there. So I have to do that blueprint yet again. Classic me. We'll then finish off the requests for these. Ooh, excuse me. And then we'll call that a stream there. And then what I'll probably do tomorrow morning, is do a similar sort of arrangement of track here and stick that coal in. You know, probably grab that coal. Because I don't want to just landfill all of these. I only want to do them sort of, you know, as I have to, sort of thing. So we'll probably need an extra, you know, couple of lines coming in to grab, because there's all this iron here, you see. Yeah, we could take some of it on the other side, but it's sort of quite heavily concentrated here. But yeah, so that's essentially how it works. I say I'd forgotten there weren't radars on these. And I don't need like full coverage to be able to see it. I just need to be able to position this one. So, and basically it ties up with the left-hand side is exactly the right place. Can you see there? You know, they're aligning with the purple blobs there. So it's just literally so I can see the left edge really. And then I can put it in the right place. And once it's kind of in there, I mean, I can always, once it fills it in, I can do it that way. I don't technically need radar coverage, I guess. Because the radars that are there will eventually scan that bit. So I missed one there, I think. No, was it? So it's this one, because I need probably one extra on either side. And then, as I say, I need to be able to see it. So if we... This is coming back again with this point that really I'd love to have bigger coverage radars. I say the other problem with it dropping out all the time. Oh, not all the time. If it's going to drop out, you know, on a fairly regular basis, is it means I have to edit the bits together. And while that's not a problem you know, as such, I don't do edits on the VODs as they go up, but it basically means loading it all into Premiere Pro, you know, splicing it together and then outputting it. I say, well, that's not hard. It takes hours to process the video when it's 3 hours long, and so it adds a step that is very time consuming. So if it's going to keep dropping out, then what can I do? You know, it's either doing it because Twitch has got some problem. How would I even know? Or my ISP is being rubbish in some way. But say my connection didn't actually seem to go, because there's a pop-up I get if internet gets disconnected, and it didn't say that. So it could be the stream thing, could be the streaming software. Don't know. Could be hacks. Could be being hacked. All the hackages. Why anyone would want to hack me, I don't know. Right, so we get all this sort of built in, and I'll copy the recipe in. You know, the request in. So get all this filled out and no flashing lights anymore. We probably want a radar on this as well, so I can see the top of it. But yeah, we want hop out, redo all of this, because I need one for copper as well, but it'll be, you know, identical, just well, the smelter I don't need to redo. All the miners, it's just another station with the copper requests on these chests, basically. So just randomly pick a few. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I already did that bit, so I need a radar or two. No, one should be fine. So we put it there, maybe. That looked like it covered everything there. That's good. Okay, so we can blueprint this. I did wonder about setting one of them to 4, because there is actually enough stackage for 4. We can maybe tweak that later. So we want that. We want train stop names. We want iron plate. We want bots. Bots. Create blueprint. Okay. We have a random power pole in the blueprint for I don't know why. Don't know why that's there. Okay. Right, so let's stick that in there. I say I'll just quickly put a radar on the coal one and redo that. So, oh, that's got a power pole, that's why. I'll have to redo it anyway. But yeah, so just to sign off, I'll be back tomorrow when I will continue on adding on coal outposts in particular. But I'll also do the copper, and we'll maybe chuck in a few iron and copper as well. But it's the coal I want to get running so that I can get the plastic being made. That's basically where we need to get to this weekend. I will hopefully then... Where's the line there? There we go. I'll hopefully then be able to, during the week, finish all of those off so that if we get rid of them and we get rid of... Don't need any of them, do I? And then we can save that and tweak it again. Oh, I didn't put the radar on. What a fool. What a fool. The whole point of this was to put the radar on. So put that there. Yeah. Right, let's have another go. But yeah, so I'll pick up tomorrow. I'll probably add in the train side of it between streams. But we'll certainly get adding the coal. We'll get the plastic running. What I'll probably do is I'll probably get the satellites running, because I never really tested that properly. Get the satellites running, and then I undid the radar. That's the whole point of editing the blueprint. I'll probably get the satellites running. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Save it. Check it again. Yeah, we need to get rid of the chests. We need to get rid of those two. Save that. Check it again. And then we're kind of at the point where it's really gold science that needs materials. And I need to decide whether I'm just going to add in 1 million more outposts again, or I'm going to do the wall extension properly for that as well. Yeah, okay. Right, so there we go. So, yeah, if you have been watching, then thanks for watching along. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it's interesting. And we are so close. We can taste it. But there's a fair bit of work to do yet. I might even show you this in action, the extending. It's quite slow, but, I guess as a system, it would work best, if I wasn't trying to do it all at once to grab all of this land. So if I just, if I'd been working on these builds while also extending my walls, that would really have been the best way of doing it. But of course, so I'm now suddenly flipping to doing it this way around. So yeah, it's slower than ideal, but that's fine. Yeah, so if you have been watching, thank you for joining me, and hopefully I will catch you in another one. I've been Trismegistus. This has been Factorio. Thanks for watching. Cheers.